Welcome back. The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, says he has sent more than 102,000 migrants to blue sanctuary cities. He wrote this on X: "Our transportation mission will continue until Biden secures the border." South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, meanwhile, is requesting her state's legislature hold a joint session so she can brief them on the, quote, war zone at the southern border and South Dakota's potential response. Noem has said she would be willing to send guardsmen, the National Guard, to Texas to help secure the border there. The House Homeland Security Committee holding markups of the articles of impeachment against DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas today. Joining me right now ahead of that is Texas Congressman August Pfluger. He's a member of the House Homeland Security Committee. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know, between the administration's decision on LNG to the administration's wide open border, is this White House at war with Texas?
Boy, it sure seems like it. You know, everything they're doing right now seems to be weakening us when we really live in a world that's dangerous, and everything we should be doing should be bolstering our strength, our economic strength, obviously our border strength abroad, but the Biden administration is taking exactly the opposite course that they should be.
Well, I want to talk to you about all of these issues. Let's talk first about the LNG situation, because you represent the very district that is the best capacity for oil and gas revenue capacity in America that there is, if not the world, competitive in the world. So the Journal's editorial board is calling out President Biden for halting permits for new liquefied natural gas exports. They're also tearing into the administration for allowing TikTokers to dictate U.S. policy, saying a Biden advisor pushed for the pause because of climate lobbyist Bill McKibben and his TikTok army. The administration met with a so-called TikTok climate influencer as well, Congressman. What the heck is this about?
Well, it's exactly what happened in Germany about 15 years ago, where teenagers literally were able to change the policy, and now Germany has no natural gas, they have no nuclear capacity, and energy is about 3 or 4 times more expensive than it is here. Yes, you're right. I represent the Permian Basin, the most prolific production area. It's a tool of national security for us. And what the administration is doing right now is halting 4 projects that need to be expanded. It represents about a 10% increase in our ability to produce natural gas, not only for ourselves here domestically, but also for our allies. You think about what Europe is using. We literally exported about 7 BCF a day to Europe to replace what they were getting from Russia. And so what the Biden administration is doing is handing a gift to Putin directly and to our enemies abroad, people like Iran, by not producing it here, and it has zero positive impact on the climate. In fact, it will make the climate situation even worse by using their natural gas because it's so much dirtier than ours.
Well, unfortunately, this started as an economic issue, but has ballooned into a national security issue where our country is at risk with these adversaries on the march. We have to talk about the most important story of the morning. The Pentagon has now identified the 3 U.S. soldiers who were killed by an Iran-backed drone strike in Jordan. We're learning the enemy drone was mistaken for a U.S. drone, and here they are. These poor souls, they are our fallen heroes. Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, 46 years old. Special Kennedy LaDon Sanders, 24 years old. Special Breonna Alessandria Moffitt, 23 years old. Savannah, they're all from Georgia. These are kids. I'm so saddened by this. The drone was mistaken. It was expected that a drone was returning to the U.S. base at the same time enemy fire came in. Here are some of Biden's past warnings to Iran, and he thinks this was actually going to stop them. Watch this.
To any country, any organization, anyone thinking of taking advantage of this situation, I have one word: don't. Don't.
And what's the message to Iran?
Don't.
As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly. One word. Pretty straightforward.
What is your message to Hezbollah and its backer, Iran?
Don't. Don't. I've already delivered the message to Iran. They know not to do anything.
Well, I guess they didn't heed the warning, Congressman, with all the don'ts. Yeah.
I mean, what a joke. You know, you think about the weakness. It started with the withdrawal from Afghanistan, and now we see what happened in Israel, the tragedy. with the Hamas attack on October 7th. And we really need an administration who is standing up. But this one seems to continue to want to appease Iran. I've been calling them out, preventing the money, the billions of dollars going into Iran that the administration wants to provide waivers on. And what a tragic situation to see these 3 young soldiers and dozens others, by the way, hurt. I flew combat missions in this area. It is no surprise that Iran uses this area for their terrorism scheme. But we need the administration to come back strong. Think about the Soleimani strike in January of 2020. That is the kind of message that would deter Iran from further aggression, yet the appeasement continues, and you hear this word "don't." That doesn't put fear into anybody. This is the weakest president in the history of this country, and we need better than this. Our soldiers deserve better, and their families do as well.
Well, I mean, do you have any idea how it's possible that our U.S. officials missed this drone coming in, which killed our 3 heroes? How is it possible that it wasn't intercepted?
I know that the Department of Defense will be looking at that. Obviously, a tactical situation that they need to investigate, and I don't want to surmise without having looked at the facts on this. But I think the bigger picture is there have been dozens of strikes, dozens of attacks in the last month or two. I think you and I have even talked about it in the last month from Iran, from their proxies on U.S. warships and on locations just like this where we have soldiers and military personnel stationed that have been unresponded to. And that is the kind of thing, strategically, we have to deter those, and it's the weakness that invites that aggression. Well,
maybe they're focused too much on DEI. There's a concern at the FBI because they're dropping the FBI special agent requirements in the name of DEI. I'm just wondering if that has anything to do with missing an important drone that just killed 3 of our heroes, Congressman. And by the way, the national security issues go way beyond just this. Look at your backyard at the southern border. 302,000 people apprehended in the month of December alone. Compare that to 405,000 for the entire year of the final year of the Trump administration. How does this president get to say he's been saying it's not secure for 10 years, when in fact, day one, he walked into the White House and overturned all the Trump policies at the border?
You're exactly right. That is why today we are proceeding with the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas, because from day one, we have been screaming from the top of the rooftops that the border is not secure, that their policy has in fact invited everyone into this country. And you just mentioned those numbers, over 8 million people illegally in 3 years. Completely unacceptable. It is a systemic refusal to follow the law and a breach of public trust that is so egregious that we've not seen this type of tragedy in our country's history.
We got to jump, but real quick, how come your friends in the Senate don't see it the same way? Is the impeachment going to die in the Senate?
I sure hope not. I hope we have Democrats who step up, who vote to do the right thing. That's our job to convince them. However, the American public wants us to secure the border, and that's exactly what we are doing.
Congressman, good to see you this morning. Thank you so much. Congressman August Pfluger joining us this morning in D.C. Thank you, sir. Quick